everyone. Roll call, please.
Mr. Shadid?
Here.
Ms. Hutchinson? Mr. Mehta?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Socia? Ms. Guadagnino? Mayor Womack?
Here, sunshine notice, please.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by publication in the Home News and Tribune and Star Ledger on January 6, 2025, indicating that the North Brunswick Township Council hold regular meetings on the first and third Monday of each month at 7 p.m. at 710 Herman Road, North Brunswick, and agenda meetings on the second and fourth Monday of the month at the same place at 7 p.m. In the event a regular meeting falls on a legal holiday, the meeting shall be held on Tuesday night after said holiday at the same place and hour.
We've always done the Pledge of Allegiance at the full meetings. It hasn't traditionally been on our workshop meetings, but it never hurts. So, Councilman Davis, would you lead us in the pledge?
Yes, sir, Mike. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Evening, Ms. Gallimore. How are you tonight?
Good evening, Mayor Mack. I'm very well, thank you. Hope you're well also.
Doing good.
Good evening, everyone. I have 3 items on the agenda tonight. The first one is the bill list. Are there any questions on the bill list? The second item is a Chapter 159, and this is for the body armor replacement grant for $6,003.99.
Real quick, Joe, we covered on that? Are we covered on that? That body armor, the $6,000?
Yeah, we got federal money.
Right, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure. Right. Thank you.
Okay. The third item is a form and sale resolution. This is for the Livingston Avenue Sewer Project, which we have a short-term loan with the New Jersey I Bank, and we need to move from a short-term to a long-term loan because the project has been completed. And that's all for me for tonight.
The project has what?
Completed,
Complete.
yes.
Any questions at all? Thank you, Ms. Gallimore. Ms. Benson?
Good evening, Mayor Mack, residents joining us, and our council members. I have 3 items for your consideration. My first item is the Mayor's Wellness Challenge. This go-around, I hope to see everyone in this room involved. So take off your snow boots, put on your sneakers, bathing suits too. You can head to the high school pool and hoping for great participation. The dates are on here. As you see, we start at January 6th, never too late to be involved, and we run to March 31st. So, Chief, I hope you'll be involved in this round. My second item is our Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. ceremony, which will be conducted this Friday at the North Brunswick Senior Center. We will start at 6:30 p.m. I'm really excited. We will be honoring 2 of our officers, Adrienne Alley and Sal Romero, for our Dr. Martin Luther King Human Rights Award. So we're really honored. They have done so much in our community. Our third item is our North Brunswick Municipal Alliance Leadership Conference Series. This program is funded through grant funds, and I encourage all of you, if your schedules allow, to please stop by on the Senior Center on February 7th, the 14th, or the 21st. That is when our 8th grade students and our 11th graders come together as mentors and leaders for each other. So when the 8th graders become 9th graders at the high school the following year, they have a student that they can connect with that helps them make the adjustment. It's really a great conference and hope to see you all. Are there any questions?
Yeah, could you talk a little bit more about the North Brunswick Municipal Alliance Leadership Conference? What does it entail besides what you just said about
Sure.
mentoring?
It is technically called our school prevention program, and it is the combination of 8th grade students and 11th grade students that come together. The series is broken down in 3 sessions. First, the male students come together. There's a presenter, and there's all discussions on good decision making. It's all related towards drugs, underage drinking, texting. All those items are covered.
And that they're all part of the Municipal Alliance mission statement.
That is correct. It's part of our vision and mission statement of the committee for our township. So the first session will be our male students. The second session is our female students. And then the last session, both groups come together. And there are also interaction with different activities related to substance abuse, underage drinking, texting.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Joe.
Chief Battaglia, how are you?
All right, how are you?
How is your sister doing?
She's doing better. She came home today,
Oh, good to hear.
well, just before the meeting, let me know.
Good.
Thank you.
I know we all been thinking about her.
So tonight I have 3 items on the agenda. The first one is to go out to bid for detective vehicles. Those would be Ford Explorers. We had vehicles in the Detective Bureau that lasted probably 15 years at one time. We had old Tauruses, and then what we do is we get the hand-me-downs from the police department. One of them was a Tahoe, which had like 160,000 miles on it, so there was just, as the cars get handed down, they just get beat up. You get a lot of mileage on them. So we're buying the Ford Explorers. They're not PPVs, they're not police rated, they're just regular sedans because they don't use them like we do with a police car. So they're not that expensive. And the reason we're going out to bid is because there aren't any on a co-op. And ever since COVID, it's very difficult to order these vehicles. Like, for instance, the Tahoes, they have a window of about 1 month, I think it is, right, where you can get in on August 1st at like midnight, and it closes like August 3rd. So, and they're not manufacturing as many as they used to. So we get them whenever we can. We do, I believe that there might be a dealership that has some in stock,
Fred
and that's what we're hoping for, yeah. Well, that's for the other one. I think that's for the Tahoes. So the Tahoes, that's the first issue. Anybody have any questions about the Explorers? And then the second one is just replacements of the Tahoes. They seem to hold up a little better as police vehicles. They hold up better than the Dodges. They hold up better than the Ford Explorers. I've talked to many chiefs in other departments, and as far as police vehicles go, the Explorers are not that great. So we've been getting the Tahoes, are a little more money, but they're worth it because the maintenance is less maintenance on them, and they last a little bit longer. So these are just going to be 2 Tahoes are going to get replaced with these 2, and these we can get under the co-op. So I believe there's a dealership that has 2 of them in stock. Any questions about that? And then the last one is the authorization of the sale of the abandoned vehicles. Those are the things that we come to you, I believe it's every quarter, right? The vehicles that we get that are abandoned, when nobody claims them, then we get the titles for them and we sell them at auction. And so these were sold. Any questions?
Is there any professional disadvantage to having non-police vehicles issued to detectives, or does it put them in any
No.
danger or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Director Bloyd, how are you tonight? You do have a list.
Everybody strap in. I have, well, thank you. I have 10 items for your consideration this evening. The first one being authorization of advertisement for receipt of bids under the Department of Public Works for a fuel pump station. The only thing with that one is we're waiting on cost analysis from CME to see where we're at with the monies for that one.
So we authorize it. It's just, it hangs out there until you hear from CME, and then you can go ahead and go forward with it without coming to us again.
Yeah, I think this week, if I read that email correctly, they should have a number for us.
Okay.
Any other questions on that one?
Is this just for repairs or?
This is
Or
a
is
whole
this just
new.
for maintenance?
This is a whole new fuel farm for the township. The old one's 30 years old, maybe even older than that, and we're due.
And all the bids come in a lot higher than we expect. We don't have to, and we're not obligated to anything, right?
Correct. And again, I think we should share, hopefully that comes in, the cost estimate from the engineer by the end of the week before the council passes this on Tuesday. But we can also share with you just the renderings, because they did, in the interest of time as well as money, they separated the project out. So abandoning the underground tanks, going through DEP, all of that is going to be a second phase. This bid is strictly going to be for the construction of new above-ground
Is
fuel
it in the
station.
same location, or are we?
It's probably about 60 feet behind the existing one,
Okay,
right in line with it.
okay.
And that will be operating while they're constructing the new one.
And then we're leaving the abandoned equipment in the tank and everything underground?
That's all going to come out.
That's gonna come
That's
out.
what
That's
Justine was
second
alluding
phase.
to,
Second
yes.
phase.
Second
Okay.
phase of that,
All right.
yes.
Why, I mean, Justine, you're the purchasing expert. Why do we have to wait for CME? I mean, if we're just asking for bids, they're going to be what they're going to be. Why do we need to wait for CME to?
Again, we just want to make sure that we have the funding available based on what we had as a preliminary cost estimate during the budget time. Sometimes the prices have been coming in high. We just want to make sure we have that, to make sure we have the funding.
When we first started this, I believe it was around 700,000. And that was probably 5-6 years ago. So it's
I'm sure it's up now.
definitely elevated since then.
And Mayor, on the engineer's estimate is one of the statutory reasons for rejecting a bid. So
Gotcha.
getting the estimate after you got the bids might call the decision-making process into question.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
All right, my second item is authorizing an application for funding for basketball court resurfacing to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. This is a grant. So we have already budgeted this money in our capital. However, with this grant opportunity, we're looking to get it fully funded. The numerous courts that we want to get resurfaced.
You got a number on that, Steve? Did you say they had, you know what the cost is on that?
The cost, it's a $100,000 grant.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions on item 2? The third item is authorizing an amendment to contract with Municipal Maintenance Company for maintenance and repair of sewer lift stations. Any questions on that one?
What's a sewer lift station?
That's, we have 7 lift stations in town. All of our sanitary water goes to these stations, and then they get pumped to higher elevations where they become gravity lines and makes its way to MCUA, which is, they do the treatment for the majority of the county.
And then for these bids, are these just yearly bids, or are these?
This is an amendment to our contract. We already have a contract with them. This is just an amendment because we've utilized the money for some pump pit downstairs here, and also Edley's Lane, we had a grinder installed, and that ate up a big chunk of the monies that we had allotted for that.
Okay.
So it's an amendment to this contract.
Does it increase in cost? I'm assuming that it does. If we,
The contract,
yeah, okay.
The fourth item is, excuse me, authorizing an amendment to contract with Mako East Brunswick under the Department of Public Works for auto body collision repairs. Any questions on that one? Number 5, authorizing an agreement with Frank's Truck Center for the purchase of one 2024 GMC 3500 Sierra pickup for the Department of Public Works, and that is under a co-op. Any questions on that one? The sixth item tonight is authorizing an agreement with Hogan Security Group for the supply and installation of doors and hardware in the basement of the municipal building. Any questions on that one? The seventh item is authorizing an award of contract to Robert Griggs Plumbing and Heating, LLC, for the provision of plumbing services.
Is that for the municipal, or is that just in general?
Mostly for here, but
Okay.
that can encompass any of our buildings.
Yeah, this would be the first time we've had this contract. It seemed to prove successful to have an electrician. We did earlier this year, so we went out to bid for plumbing services now, just so that if he needs those services.
We just felt, you know, going into the building now that hasn't been occupied, and now we're reoccupying different areas. We've noticed we've had some leaks, and we think it's just necessary, because once we get on full steam here, I think we may unearth some more.
And then just for my edification, for these contracts, is there an award date? I mean, is it for a certain period of time, or is it based off of like an NTE, not to exceed an amount?
So this contract is, I believe, a year
1 year.
with 2 or
Options.
1 year options. So if we're not happy with this company, it's our choice to go back out to bid.
1 + 1 +
Well, we could go back out to bid at that point if we're not satisfied with the results.
Okay.
Steve, just if you jump back to 6 for a minute, you had said basement in the municipal building. Basement wasn't in there. Is that just left out?
I threw that in there.
The basement?
It's for the basement doors.
Oh, yeah, but no,
Otherwise-
it wasn't on the sheet here. That's the only reason I was wondering. So it's not just for it's for the basement, it's not for other areas in the, okay,
All right, where am I at, 8?
yeah.
Okay, number 8, authorizing change order number 1 with Brockwell and Carrington Contractors Incorporated for Municipal Complex Fire Alarm Replacement Project. Any questions on that? Number 9, authorizing change orders 19, 20, and 21 with Brockwell and Carrington Contractors Incorporated for supplemental work as part of the restoration phase of the municipal complex. Any questions on any of those?
So for the supplemental work, what does that entail? Just,
So there's 3 separate,
oh, yeah, there's 3.
Change orders.
Change orders. I guess I have to.
you want all
have
of
to
them?
change. Yeah, just briefly.
Okay,
You
so-
don't have to go into detail, but just.
So change order number 19, this is for the police side. There's two areas on the police side, and the other side is the front entrance that's still blocked off with plywood.
Yeah.
So there's the substrate floor there. It's not up to code. So when they took the doors out, there were some unforeseen issues with
Okay.
the substrate, so they need to correct that. Otherwise, it will have a flex to that sill. So that's 19. 20 is for various windows, excuse me, in 26 locations. 3 different stairwells, police side vestibule, and police side second floor. The windows, they're putting wood block to blend in with the frames of the windows.
Like molding?
Yeah, it's going to be a wood frame that
Okay.
sits in there. It's going to protect the edges as well.
Okay.
That's number 20. And 21 is additional work needed that was unforeseen for the various doors on the back side here. Same situation with the other doors where they took the old doors out and
Oh, yeah, the
the
cell.
substrate wasn't up to code.
Okay.
And same issue with the sills.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on 9? And 10 is authorizing amendment to the PSA with USA Architects for services related to the restoration of the municipal complex. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Oh, we made out okay with water main breaks, never mind, I mean, I should, but I mean, yeah, I don't mean to jinx this or anything, but I mean, but it's been very cold and,
We've had a few starting to ring up here.
okay,
Let's try to knock on wood over there.
yeah, yeah. Pardon?
3 in the past week.
Yeah, yeah. No Edison level. All right, I'll be quiet. Director Ritz.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you that are familiar with the shops of North Brunswick, there's been a long-standing issue regarding the degradation of the parking lot. The roadways and byways and parking areas have just been failing, and they've never been properly repaired since the shops was opened in 2010. My office had been treating that through property maintenance summonses, and over the past few years, the owner has paid more than $30,000 in penalties in municipal court, but continues to fail to make improvements to the pavement. Even though in court about a year and a half ago, they presented a pavement plan, which included an outline of what they plan to do in 2024 and onward, and last year they accomplished none of that. So in order to elevate this, I've engaged counsel, and my plan and our plan would be ultimately potentially to file in Superior Court, because at this point, they're just not maintaining the site, and it's a source of constant complaint from the public. So you're copied on a letter that was sent to them by mail and certified mail just prior to Christmas. And sometime this month, they have a deadline to respond. As of today, it's been at least 3 weeks. They have not responded yet. So I'll be back with Mr. Gordon, but potentially we're going to litigate
It's a shame.
in order to get their attention
And cheaper.
and try to get this done.
Yeah.
So, and as you know, it's I'll give them due credit in terms of they've been securing new leases, and they've been replacing empty spaces and done a fairly good job of trying to transition the center to a lifestyle center, and we have the swim school coming and other things. So I don't think that they can plausibly suggest that it's from a lack of tenants or a lack of revenue to the site, because the site is fairly well occupied. So we'll keep you posted, but I wanted you to be aware that we may be facing litigation.
So we're going into Superior Court because it's that level we're at, is it?
Yeah, because
bad.
we've
It's really
municipal court has failed to
old, like potable.
generate any success.
Yeah.
It appears that they would rather pay the municipal court fines, kick the can down the road, and
Yeah.
not do anything. Well, that's not acceptable any longer. So I've sent them a demand letter. It's their obligation to maintain the property in accordance with our code, and they're basically thumbing their nose at us. So they can explain to a judge why they're thumbing their nose at us.
And those costs, those legal costs,
I'll seek to recover them.
we recover them.
I'll do my best.
I'm sure you'll do it.
Always up to the judge.
The second item this evening is follows through on professional service agreements. This didn't make reorganization. This is for the firm Hire Grulin Associates for the pending redevelopment agency. So they'll be under contract with us to advise us on redevelopment throughout the calendar year. Item 3 this evening is a good news story, and several years into this project, but this is a closeout for the trail improvement project at Community Park. This included also support from the state of New Jersey, and then ultimately we were able to fund this project with a CDBG grant, and we achieved additional work. So we not only made the connection to the Renaissance community that we were tied up with for about a year and a half, we've also done some large sections of repaving the main drive in Community Park, one up front just over the bridge coming into the site, and one in the back where the road split into that back field. And so we got more work done than was originally proposed, and yet we're closing out the project with a $50,000 reduction.
Excellent.
So it's a good news story. Finally, just another update. I replaced a resolution in your online packet this evening, but we talked about this at the last meeting. We're coming up on a January 31st deadline to either accept or reject our fourth round affordable housing numbers as we speak. In fact, we have staff working this evening to prepare this report and some supporting maps. We are going to challenge our prospective need. You have a draft resolution. We're hoping to have that number in this report done by Friday. And so we would fill in the missing number, and this would be on your agenda for Tuesday. If for some reason we run late, then we would have to carry this and add it to an approval item to the January 27th meeting. But as of tonight, I'm hoping we can have this on next week for approval. And then once you adopt it, we have 48 hours to notify the administrative court of our action. So
Note that that's 48 hours, not 2 days. So weekends, they're included. The timelines are tight. There are 564 municipalities in the state of New Jersey. Every one of them has to file by January 31st, whether they're accepting the Department of Community Affairs numbers. The way that these are calculated is a fairly complex formula. The general way that the numbers get reduced from a municipal perspective is what's called the land capacity factor. The state has determined that you can build residential housing on almost any piece of property that is 2,500 square feet. Well, some of those 2,500 square foot parcels are in jug handles. Some of them are in parks. Some of them are landlocked. So the report that Michael referred to is important for reducing, if that's the route that the municipality wants to take, the prospective obligation, which is for the next 10-year period, which starts July 1st, 2025, and carries you through June 30th, 2035.
So we're,
Is,
I'm
is,
sorry.
is affordable housing considered litigation enough that we could have an executive session to
Yes, sir.
discuss whether we want to
Yes, sir?
challenge the number or not?
Yes, sir?
I think we should, just so we can lay it all out on the table next week.
Yep.
And then take the action recommended by our staff.
Absolutely. We'll be prepared.
So we should have that for you Tuesday. And then there's an appeal period for interested parties in the state to challenge our number. So we would have to wait to see what happened during that time. And then I'll also share with you going forward our plan on how we plan to meet the number that we're going to propose, but we'll do that at a prospective meeting. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So under my name is an ordinance that would deal with the government, with the scheduling of our meetings. I've had the opportunity to be involved and watch many other towns around Middlesex County. We have a lot more meetings than others do. You know, we have an obligation to have meetings to take care of the town business, to pay the bills that we owe, and to make sure the public is fully informed and can be heard on a regular basis. But we're about the only town I know where every week, you know, Monday, there's a meeting. So I did want to put out on the table for you all to look at and consider whether we want to, we would require, as this does, a change in our code so that we might be able to schedule meetings that we determine are still sufficient to meet all of our goals, but don't grind for our staff and our council to be here every single Monday.
What is the typical schedule like with other towns? How often do they meet?
Every other week,
So twice a month?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
That's my experience. Most other municipalities meet twice a month. Some of them only meet once a month. I don't know of any others, and I've represented a number across the state that meet every week.
Okay.
Of course, we'll have to work on Mr. Bloyd to quit putting so many items on any single agenda, but. I did want to mention that Councilman Socio, who is not able to be here with us tonight, is enjoying the meeting on cable this evening. So he sent me a text, so. Hello, Councilman Socio.
Hello, Councilman.
You know, we lost our deputy court administrator, and we have selected someone that we wanted to replace that person with. It's, as often as we can, it's an in-house promotion, someone that I think we're all on the administrative side comfortable with. It went through the process that we have for court employees, a meeting with court personnel and township representatives to go through that selection process. After the selection was made, we took a little time to think about it, make sure it's the right way we want to go, and that's what the consenting to the appointment as deputy court administrator. I don't know if you wanted to fill in any additional details on that, Ms. Progeman?
Thank you, Mayor. You know, we're just waiting on the sign off of that, but we expect that in the coming days. So we'll fill that out and submit that resolution for consideration in advance of the meeting on Monday.
Sign off.
Tuesday.
She means whenever we move an employee up or position, they get a written offer with the proposal, and they sometimes come back with questions or don't, and we're just waiting for that process to finish up. Okay. And Dave Lonsky, who had been our municipal prosecutor for many years, isn't doing it now because the attorney who was coming in from his office to represent us, Lorraine, has been made a judge over in New Brunswick. So we wish her the very best, but we've not yet reached an agreement or determination on who's going to step in as our full-time prosecutor. We're having people come in and cover court sessions at the moment. So this third thing under me is just ask that we could have that as an open item, so it'll be available for you to act on. You're not acting on it tonight or anything, but it'll be available there for you if we do have somebody ready to go next week. Am I correct on that, Ms. Counsel? Oh,
Yes, yes, absolutely.
10 years ago, I was certain I was saying the right thing. Now I'm much less certain every time I open my mouth. Justine?
Thank you, Mayor. I have two items on for consideration. The first item This is just authorizing an extension, a one-year extension with the grant writing services with Brownfield Development Solutions, known as BRS. If there's any questions on that. The second item I have is, this is authorizing professional service agreement with James Shammy to serve as our public defender. We just hadn't received that in time for reorg, so this was a holdover from reorg, and this is authorizing that for the calendar year 2025.
Get very good reviews on Mr. Shammy from members of the court.
That's all.
Madam Clerk?
Okay, I have 3 firefighter applications on tonight. Fire Company 3, Fire Company 2, and Fire Company 1. All paperwork is in order. And items 4, 5, and 6 are approval of minutes. Item number 4 is from a workshop meeting of December 9th, 2024. Any questions or revisions? Item number 5 is a regular meeting from December 16th of 2024. And item number 6 is reorganization of January 2nd, 2025. And I have one resolution on this evening, approving applicants for taxi owner licenses. They have come in and they have paid their renewal fee. However, they will not be putting their cars on the road, so they will not be using their medallions. But they have renewed.
That, when you say it's on for tonight, it's on for the
We're
agenda
gonna-
meeting? for
We're
the
going to
workshop.
put it on for the council meeting.
Tonight,
No,
for next?
Next week.
Good. Okay,
that's all I have this evening.
thank you. And so then the next item is this evening's consent agenda. Does anybody have any questions about the consent agenda before we ask for a motion? It's only consent agenda item A, which is the bill list. Is there a motion to approve consent agenda item A, the bill list?
So move.
Second.
Is there a discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Shadid?
Yes.
Ms. Hutchinson?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Are there any reports from any eminent member of the council this evening?
Yes, I have 2.
Are they your own, or were they given to you by Ms. Benson?
They were given to me by Ms. Benson.
Oh, okay.
Since Amanda is not here, I'm filling in for her. So there is a winter swim schedule that is open in lap swim. It looks like we've missed 2 dates already, which was in December and early January, but January 18th is coming up. It's on Saturday, and February 1st and February 8th from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. The cost is $15 per person, and for family swim card, it's $120 for the year. And then you can just register on the communitypass.net, North Brunswick Township. If you have questions, you can call the DPRCS at 732-247-0922, extension 475. And then one other, they have swim testing that's coming up from the North Brunswick Department of Parks and Recreation. They have Saturday, February 1st, and the 8th of February at the high school. Their swim testing schedules are by appointment only. All participants are required to phone the DPRCS office at 732-249-0922, extension 475, to schedule a swim test day and time. The testing will be between the hours of 10:30 and 1:15. And then we'll be signing a report card for the testing. Yes, so you'll get a card after you finish testing. And then don't report to the pool without a confirmation assigned time from the office. Swimmers should bring their bathing suits and towels. And then any additional questions or information, you can contact 732-247-0922, extension 475 again. And that's it.
May I say how nice it is to hear you read those with your voice?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
great.
so-
Yeah, I sound like
Right.
normal now.
Mac, I just have one, could we just jump back to the course on that?
Which one? The swim?
Yeah, yeah.
The winter swim?
Yeah, so what was it? It's $15?
Per
Per
visit,
person?
per person, per visit.
But is that residents or anybody?
It is primary residence for open and lap swim.
Yeah.
And for lessons, non-residents can be a part. And
Okay,
the-
oh, so non-residents can't be a part in the initial,
In the open and lap swim.
oh, okay,
It's priority to our residents.
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
we have 3 more dates available.
Councilman Davis, any other items to bring up?
No, sir.
Councilman Shadid?
No?
Any of the directors, CFO? I do hope that residents will feel in this time the ability and the desire to come out for our Dr. Martin Luther King Day event.
Yeah, that's
It's
always
a
nice.
very important thing. It's important every year. It's important this year. And I do hope people will come out and attend that at the senior center.
It's a very nice event. You put on a very good event, yes.
Members of the public are invited to come forward for the public hearing, and I see Mr. Nastis here this evening. Good evening, sir. And you're free to go.
Well, first of all,
First of all, would
Best
you
wishes.
like to sign in, Mr. Nestor, please? Thank you.
first of all, I just want to say Happy New Year, happy and healthy New Year to all of you.
You too, Mr. Nastis.
Happy New Year to you.
Now, I haven't been here for a while, so,
15 minutes.
pardon me?
No, we're in that 15-minute range, just,
Okay,
no, just,
I'll try to get it done then.
okay.
My first request is do we have an ordinance for overcrowding? That's a yes or no answer.
Yes.
Could I get a copy?
It's not an ordinance that says overcrowding, but you can get a copy of all of the ordinances that together are designed to prevent overcrowding. So yes, the answer
Where
is
you
yes.
get that from the clerk, or where do I get it?
If you want to get it from the clerk, you file at a Freedom of Information Act request. Oprah, yeah, Oprah request. But the easier way to get it's probably, how hard is it to pull that together?
I'll provide it to the clerk.
Yes, so we'll have it for you in a couple of days.
Okay. The second thing is, do we have an ordinance for code enforcement as to how it works?
No. Well, our town code delineates each department and what their duties are, but it doesn't say how they're to be performed.
Could I get a copy of that too?
You can.
I can make copies and make distribution to my phone calls.
Right. Lisa, could we print out without waiting for a formal?
All right, what's the status on 77 Adams Lane?
77 Adams Lane. Mr. Ritz, come on up.
I don't have an update, Mayor, but you spoke to Captain Hoiberg about this in December, just 3 weeks ago. He told you he was taking care of it, and you agreed that he would take care of it.
I'm not disagreeing, I'm asking for an update.
I don't have any update.
Chief?
I don't have an update right now. Captain Hoiberg, I've been out for a little while,
Okay.
so I haven't got the opportunity to speak to him, but I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Okay.
You'll be in tomorrow?
Next is 13 through 19 Beverly Street. Also 970 A and B and 945 B. I called that in November. No update? Number five,
I don't, you called it into who, Mr. Nessus? I don't recall those addresses from you.
you're the one that told me what's going on there, and I told you, go look at it and you'll see.
So 13 to 19 Beverly, and what was the other address?
970 A and B and 945 B. I spoke to you about that in November. School buses on Remsen Avenue, number 42, and
Sorry, hold on a second, please. The 970 A and B and the 945, those are on Beverly or they're on Bergen Avenue?
no, Beverly.
Okay,
13th and 19th on Beverly also. It was formerly called the Bon Giovanni Estates. There's been a car in the driveway for the last 6 months with the front tires off.
We're looking just at the Google map picture of it.
okay.
All right, school buses on Remsen Avenue, number 42 and 25. That's old news. Still
Daytime, nighttime, Mr. Ness?
24/7.
Okay.
16 Oakwood Place.
Just hold on, go back to that Nassau Street. Was that the one that we wrote a ticket for? The small street buses by Hollywood?
No.
I think you said Remsen, right?
I don't know these, I've never, I don't
16
know
Oakwood
these.
Place. 16 Oakwood Place.
He's asking about, I've never heard these addresses from him, so I'll have to look
Is
at
that the small school bus that's been over here on Remsen Avenue by Hollywood?
Yeah,
I think we issued them a summons a while ago.
It's been a long time.
they're North Brunswick school buses. I don't know who gets them.
Okay. Okay,
They
good.
say North Brunswick Township on them, and they have two
She's allowed to
numbers.
have it there during the day, but at night, I think we issued her a summons way back when, and she was supposed to move that bus. So
Well, is that her bus or is that the township's bus?
I don't know, but it's always there.
Well, she's been driving it, or he's been driving it for the last 10 years. All right, 16 Oakwood Place. Mr. Ritz, I asked you if they were going to repair the garage when they were redoing the house. So far, the garage is still tilted. It's one of 5 garages that I turned into you, 4 of which have been done. This one is still undone. Plus the fact that there are 2 dump trucks that are there that are one is usually parked in the street.
Mr. Nessus, we talked about this at the last meeting. We told you that at your request, I had the construction official go to the garage. He indicated there's nothing wrong with the garage.
Outside of it being tilted,
Yes, the township's going to take no further action on that item.
that's in worse shape than the ones that they did fix.
That's what we pay the code official for, and
Does that look like it's?
I think you better look into it. Anyway, how about the graffiti on the bridge? Is that ever going to be resolved, or is that still, the state's supposed to do it? Who's supposed to,
Which bridge are you talking about?
the one on Livingston Avenue?
Officer Romero was able to identify suspects on some of those, and he's working with the courts to figure out what we're going to do, if we're going to do some kind of community service and have them remove it. I believe they just tagged another bridge in either New Brunswick or North Brunswick, so they're working on that. But if it's the one by the railroad, by the train station, is that the one you're still talking about, by the tracks?
No, I'm talking about the one on Livingston Avenue.
Okay, that's the one that Sal captured because they're from Franklin Township, and he's working with the courts. to try to
Well, what about off Livingston Avenue, the graffiti on those bridge parts there?
Lieutenant Jacobson was working on this.
Yeah, where the tracks are.
Where the tracks are, we had a conversation with, as you've heard over the years, that it's very difficult because it's the Amtrak's property, and they don't want anybody out there for liability purposes. I believe that Lieutenant Jacobson was working with them, and they said they would come out once a year to paint those bridges, but they're not gonna come out every time they get tagged, so.
Well, it's been over a year now.
We'll have them, we'll see when they're gonna come out for 2025, and then again, they won't come out for 2026, so I'll have Lieutenant Jacobson look at that this week.
Okay, 49 Claremont. Construction debris, or whatever you want to call it, is behind the garage and the house. It curves onto Roseland Place.
I know that I sent an inspector there. I know that he notified the homeowner. I'll have to check on the status.
Okay, now here's the world-famous one. 497 Georges Road, 12 years in the making.
He failed to appear in court.
And?
He failed to appear in court.
There's a bench warrant for him.
Mayor, I think you should get involved in this. I mean, it's been going on for 12 years, and for some reason, it keeps getting stuck.
What is the, what would be the, I'm not asking legally, but to make that property appropriate, what do you think needs to be done there?
You don't want to ask me that question, do you?
Oh, well, I do, because if I get involved, that's what we would have to be
Well,
looking at.
First of all, there's 2 illegal vehicles there, all right? One is a truck and the other is a car. And recently, the part of the garage that they didn't take down fell on the car. Now, the building itself has, let's say, holes in the roof. I don't know what's inside, but it is in disrepair, let's put it that way. If you would like to look at it, I'll be glad to pick you up and drive you over there.
I've gone by it since you've been talking about it.
But this has been going on for quite some time, and it's the same thing. This guy either isn't appearing in court, or the town isn't going after him to put him in court.
He, as far as I know, that property, you've mentioned the taxes are current, right? So we don't have that option. Okay.
Whitefocal was supposed to clean up the yard, and for some reason, he didn't do it, and I think it was given to the property owner to clean it up.
Well,
There was four vehicles there, now there's only 2. The garage is half up and half down.
we have to revisit that, Mr. Nassis. We did originally pass a resolution to have the work done privately, but that the homeowner proceeded on their own, so we withheld the enforcement of us coming in to do the work. So I have to discuss this with council. There's a possibility that we would go back in now, but the vehicle actually complicated things, and I have to discuss the legal parameters with Mr. Gordon on that.
Well, I got a call from somebody, he left a message on my machine, that they're willing to buy the 2 vehicles there for $100 and have them towed out. I don't, I told him to call you, I don't know whether he did or not. But, I mean, this has been going on for 12 years now, Mike. Is that long enough?
We're doing everything that we can, Mr. Nessus. I don't know what else to do.
I
Mayor's been involved.
I can't
the
accept
attorney's
that
been
as an
involved.
answer. You're doing everything you could do because it wouldn't take 12 years to do it.
I mean, we're doing the best we can as far as legally what we can with the owner.
I understand that.
Okay, so if you understand that, then you know that, he's doing what he
Took
can.
12 years to do legally understand everything.
But
Yes.
those
This
are,
guy doesn't even go to court when he's,
What can you
those,
do?
those are 2 separate issues,
Yeah,
though. I mean,
yeah.
now we're doing everything we can. We have been for some time. We get that, and we're frustrated we can't do more at this point. We didn't do it as quickly as you would have liked for us to do. We accept that and don't argue with you. We don't argue with you about whether, it could have been done quicker or not, but we're doing everything we can now.
can you find out whether the house is even habitable or whether it's just storage?
It has been, we do believe that it's habitable. We did have, the appropriate officials have looked at it for habitability. and
Inside?
I don't know the details of the inspection they did.
We don't,
Inside is the part that counts.
Mm.
The outside, you can see that it's, needs work. But I'm calling you,
Right.
upon you to get involved.
Okay, thank you.
And the only other thing I could think of here is Bergen Avenue. 984 was taken care of. The parking lot is on the other side. The garbage is still there since I reported it. And now I can tell you there's 3 vehicles there that are overdue inspection by a couple of years. And there's 1 car there with no plates on it. And another thing is the famous Tiki Bar on the corner. They park in the driveway, getting to the back parking lot, and dump their beer cans, soda cans, and garbage there. And it's also dumped across the street into the vacant yard, and that is usually picked up by the property owner before it blows onto my property. I turned that in November. Still there.
Did-
It's not all still there. It was substantially cleaned up. You met with the property owner yourself, and you met with him on the weekend.
Not his side,
Okay,
it's the other side,
okay,
and that hasn't been touched.
okay.
I bet with the property owner, he was very good, and he did his part.
Okay.
It's the other property owner that didn't do theirs.
And is it a garbage issue, a trash out there issue?
There's a couple of dumpsters there. They get filled up. There's pallets laying there. There's a barbecue pit that's there. And there's some other trash that's just laying around.
Have you ever had the opportunity to go take a look at it? Not that we pick up commercial things, but from a professional viewpoint of whether we should or could do something?
We'll go by there.
Thank you, Steve.
When you go there, come see me, please.
Oh, absolutely.
You know where to find me. You don't need it. We're full of hot air.
Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And is there a motion to adjourn our meeting this evening?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody have a great night.